Okay, all right, guys. Welcome to this episode. Today we have a very interesting topic that we are gonna be discussing: cryptocurrency versus China. And we have a special guest today, Mr. Wei Sheng. How are you doing?
Hi, Desmond. Hi, Jonathan.
Okay, so Wei Sheng is basically a cryptocurrency trading expert. So I think it's very important and interesting to hear his foresight as well. And John and I are also crypto investor. John, will you consider yourself a trader or an investor?
More of an investor. I just buy, hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who have been to our previous podcast about cryptocurrency, I'm one of those people that buy, totally forgot about it, and then 2, 3 years later, and realize that, oh shit, I have 10 Ethereum sitting in my wallet that I haven't logged in since 2, 3 years ago. I'm one of those guys. So you can say that I am an accidental holder, right? So again, I want to welcome Wei Sheng to our show. This is a show where we are just very frank, bunch of friends talking nonsense. None of these are facts. None of these are financial advice. All of these are just us completely drunk, being on the TV, being on the show, just randomly saying things. Okay, so all of these are just purely our opinions. So please don't take any of our advice. We are just here, a bunch of friends sitting virtually at a virtual bar and getting drunk and then spewing a lot of nonsense. Okay, now that we got that out of the way. I want to just talk about a few very important topics just to warm things up first. I want to go and obviously discuss this very, very important topic. I'm going to show this up. This is an article by Reuters. Reuters is saying that China's top regulators ban crypto trading and mining, sending Bitcoin tumbling. And over the last few days, we see that a lot of major cryptocurrency has been taking a hit, right? I think Ethereum was 3.4K and it dropped all the way to 2.8, somewhere around there. And then Bitcoin dropped like $3,000. This is quite significant, and I think this is causing a lot of fear in the market. In fact, we see our portfolio shrunk in size too. But this is a very common thing. This is not new in the crypto world, and this is happening like almost a few times every single year. But it feels like every single time that happens, feels like a new experience. But this time seems to be quite serious. John, I just want to start out with you. Maybe you can share a little bit about how you feel when you see that your portfolio reduced by 20%, maybe 10%.
So you know what? I started investing in crypto in 2017. That time I think Bitcoin was around $3,000, went up to $20,000. And during that time, there was also a clamp by the Chinese government on crypto as well. And the moment that happened, the crypto price crashed. And of course, there was few other reasons. From 20,000, it dropped to around $4,000. And if you look at it, right, I seen this news almost every year. Like what you just said, right? It's like every few years, the Chinese government will go against crypto. So when I saw this, I wasn't surprised. To me, this is another time the Chinese government is doing this. Because how I look at it is, I kind of think, right? I think it's an open secret that the Chinese government wants a pie of this. There's rumors saying that the Chinese government wants to create their own Bitcoin, their own version of digital currency. But I'm not expert in this, and that's why today we have Wei Sheng to come and share his point of views.
I think Wei Sheng accidentally hit exit, so we'll wait for him to come back in. But I'll just share from my perspective about this as well. I think it's no secret that I really believe that in the future, a lot of the currency that we're going to be using is going to be local national currency in a form of blockchain. Like for example, we might be seeing like crypto ringgit, crypto yuan, crypto dollars. You get what I'm saying? I think countries are going to go through that. So I think this is going to be very normal. And Wei Sheng just jumped back in again. Wei Sheng, just wanted to ask you your opinion about this latest news from the China government being extremely strict towards crypto-based companies. What's your
Okay.
opinion and how does that affect you?
Yeah, so definitely my portfolio dropped like 10 to 15%. But for me, I'm so used to it because like what Jonathan mentioned, I also started since 2017. So China has been trying to ban crypto from 2013 up until now. So they've been trying, but this time is I think it's the worst because they're trying to make like all the transactions illegal. They're trying to kill off cryptocurrency and they're trying to launch their own digital yuan. So for me, I mean, definitely China is one of the biggest cryptocurrency market, but you can see like the effects started to fade out. Like people also started to get fed up with this, and they're
Right.
still buying. So the crypto price still rebounding.
So
So
do
for
you
me,
think that the China government cannot really affect that the future of crypto that much?
I think China market they can't really affect because eventually like they're trying the China people will try to find a way like all this VPN to jump back into cryptocurrency market because it's one of the way to make the huge gain in cryptocurrency market. We can't. I mean, the China people especially they wanted to invest, but right now the property market like uh, get whacked by the Chinese government. And also,
Right.
if you want to invest in the stock market, they have no way because the stock market is not moving, so they don't know where to make money. So the only way is for me is like cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Plus, China directors and China government officials have been famous for trying to get money out of the country because it's not easy to withdraw money out of China. For those people who have run businesses in China, I got a few friends who make tons of money in China, but they cannot spend it because a lot of money is locked into the country. You cannot spend out of the country. So if there's a documentary on YouTube, I can't remember who made it. I think it's like some big documentary YouTube channel that were talking about why Macau is one of the biggest casino city in the world. And it's not because they get a lot of tourists. It's because a lot of wealthy Chinese people will launder their money legally through the casino system. And I thought that's very interesting. And I want to go back to crypto about this because I do believe that when the Chinese wealthy people heard about, and I'm talking about mainland China, yeah, so they heard about the opportunity that the crypto is so easily transacted out of the country, right? Think about it. If you buy like a bunch of XRP, you send it to someone, within minutes, the other person get it, right? Compared to like the traditional banking system. So I think when they heard something like that, they are not going to let go easily. And plus, the fact that this is so anonymous and this is so private, I think it's, you know what? I actually do think that Bitcoin probably created out of China, honestly speaking. I felt like it's created by some secret Chinese billionaire. And that's because he wanted to move the money out of the country and maybe go to another country, right? But what's interesting is that the way I see it, right? Last few days I've been picking up crypto almost on a daily basis. I've been buying up a few cryptocurrency myself. And I know, Wei Sheng, you are like a very analytical person. You are a proper trader. Like for me, I don't know about John. Like for me, I'm very fundamental, like very business fundamental. So when I look at a crypto to pick up, because obviously when people see dip, right, people say buy the dip, buy the dip. I don't think we need to talk about why you need to buy the dip. You can Google all this and all the answers are there, right? It has a saying. Warren Buffett says this: you want to be greedy when other people are fearful. So I started picking up some crypto, and I started picking up like Ethereum specifically, and then also Solana, because I missed out on Solana the first bull run that went through. The reason was because we are expecting an NFT boom at the end of the year. So these two are very, very important in the NFT world, and that's how I chose it. So I'm just curious, like John, how did you choose? Obviously, you are buying dips as well. How do you choose a crypto to buy?
I always look at usage, utility. So of course, the most simple holding is to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I also went into other currencies like XRP, right, Ripple. So I'm one of those guys who only buy the big coins, the big BIG coins. I don't really dare to go into the the more speculative coins, although we know that crypto is speculative by nature. So I always look at utility. Another one that I also got was because of my friend, Swipe, right? XXP. Yeah. So at this point of time, my holding is only like 4 coins. Yeah.
Okay, so just curious about Wei Sheng as well. How do you like identify the coins? Because I'm sure you have a like your own formula or something like that. Like you want to share?
Okay, so for me, I'm not really buying that much, okay, because I personally am still believing in XRP, so I'm buying deep on XRP. But I buying all this.
Yay!
Okay,
XRP for the win.
so I'm buying based on the technical analysis, and right now I'm waiting like opportunity to buy in margin. So like most of the, I mean, some of the cryptocurrency right now is like trading in the bullish, falling wedge pattern, which is for me is bullish. So I'm waiting for the breakout to buy in. So I'm more like a technical person.
Okay. So, talking about XRP, I'm also a very big believer in XRP. The fact that I find it to be one of the, yeah, it's just very efficient, and I've been buying XRP for a very very long time since it was since it was getting started. And John, I think you're also invested in XRP, right?
Yeah, I got into XRP when I think 2017, and there was a
Yep.
point of time it was my favorite coin because from 20 cents it went to like $2 in the short period of time. I
Right.
felt like Warren Buffett at that point of time.
Within 1 week or 2 weeks time.
Right.
Yeah. That was 2017, right? End of 2017. I remember I was in Cambodia when my friend told me about XRP. Then I just bought lah, just buy first. I don't know what is it. So it was highly speculative for me. And then after that, I start seeing like CMB Bank also uses Ripple. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, but then after that I got out. When the price plunged back to 20 cents, I got out. Then after that, I only got back in like this year. Yeah, I got back in this year because I saw they had this issue with SEC. So when I saw that was happening, I thought it was okay because the price of XRP may have crashed, but then the crypto price has nothing to do with the Ripple project, right? The connection is not that strong, right? Even if let's say XRP company goes bankrupt, the coin is still there. It's still floating in the coin in the exchange. So that was my thought lah. It's not really a security. It's a cryptocurrency. Yeah. So that was when I started accumulating again.
Mm-hmm. So the way I think about it, right? If you want to buy a coin, obviously this is not financial advice. I'm not a crypto guru, but if you want to feel safe about doing it, look at the value of each particular coin that the company represent and the usage of the coin. Like obviously, the main reason why I buy certain coins is also because I needed to look at the background of the company and the background of the coin itself. What's the utility of the coin? Like XRP for me, it just being a financial transaction tool. It's just something that doesn't make sense. And obviously, that SEC is targeting everybody. And in case you all do not know, SEC is also targeting Coinbase right now, right? Because Coinbase is doing some, if I'm not wrong, right, maybe you all can correct me. I think they're doing some DeFi lending, right? And then apparently like it pissed off SEC. Now SEC is just looking for someone to sue. So like what are you guys' thought about like a regulator like SEC, which is Security Exchange Commission in America, playing such a big role in affecting the price? Like they are almost manipulating the market itself. Like what do you think the future of crypto will be when you have such a big regulator having so much power?
Rachel, you will go first.
Okay, so in my opinion, definitely all this regulation must be in place in order like for everything's in order. But for me, definitely it takes a very long time because nobody have any ideas how to regulate it. But eventually regulation will come, but all the big money will be made before the regulation. So for me, I'm not too sure on all these regulations because I'm not into like very fundamental, but definitely it's something needed in the future. So all this regulation, they can't really do things. They can't really do anything on the cryptocurrency because there's nothing to do, and they're trying to. In the end, for the XRP case, most likely it will end up with like some fine for the Ripples, or maybe the Ripple lab move out from US. So for me, this is the best time for us to make the money before the regulation comes.
Yeah, so talking about regulation, of course, we also need to identify that China is also very actively regulating in a bad way, in a way that they're saying that anything crypto activities are illegal. Mining, trading, even accepting cryptocurrency itself is illegal. Obviously, they are trying very hard. Like for me, I do really strongly believe that they are going to come out with their own coin system, their own token, China yuan, and then they are going to use that to track the citizen. I think China is very well known to be, in a way that they really like to track their people. They have like social score, and then they have credit score, and then now I'm very sure they're going to link it to some sort of public ledger. But in this particular case, right, obviously China government is holding so much power, they are making celebrities disappear. They are making Jack Ma disappear for a very long time already. Okay, I don't know if anyone here still remembers Jack Ma, right? But what are your thoughts when, looking at China, right, having such a huge regulator just saying that, this is banned, crypto is bad, right? China yuan is forever. What's your thought on that? John?
Yeah. Let me share my thoughts on this, but I just want to address what we were talking about just now, right? About regulations. So I remember a few years ago, I was attending this program. It's called Singularity University. So if you guys have never heard of Singularity University, go and check them out. It is a program that was sponsored by some of the big boys like Google, Apple. They all sponsored like a university where what they talk about is what are all these accelerating technologies that will potentially change the world. So when you go to Singularity, they will talk about things like blockchain, of course. They will talk about artificial intelligence. They will talk about robotics. They will talk about DNA sequencing. So they talk about all these things that's going to potentially change the entire world. And I still remember one of the things that they talked about was this. Entrepreneurs are the ones that will use technology to look into how can they change the world. But then the problem entrepreneurs will always face is regulators, because there's no way a regulation can come before a new transformation take place, right? So it's very often every time technology will really take place first, things will change so crazily, then the regulators will try to play catch up. And you can notice that it actually happened in Malaysia as well, because when Grab and Uber came into Malaysia, what happened was everything was taking on so fast, then taxi drivers were complaining, and then later on the government tried to regulate Uber and Grab, right? The ride sharing industry. So I think it is happening in every technology, whether it's drone or whether it's robotics or AI, and blockchain is not spared. So when we look at China versus crypto, right now we are at the topic of China and crypto. I think Chinese government is a bit different, okay? Because you look at what they just did recently with the education industry, where they just said that, hey, private tuition cannot teach the national syllabus. And all these stocks of these major tuition companies, they were big companies that they actually collapsed overnight. Okay, so Chinese government actually have a lot of control over how the Chinese run business. But in this case, I also think that it's a bit different because they cannot control crypto. Crypto is a global thing. So how are they gonna get the Chinese to buy in that, hey, we all cannot buy crypto? It's just like Facebook. So I think in this case, the Chinese government will try to regulate it, try to control it, but I don't think they will be able to do so, because at the end of the day, we still see Chinese people using Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay, so I think from the perspective of this, obviously this is spreading a lot of fear into the market, right? But I think we also know that probably a lot of the big whales is gonna be in China. A lot of big players, the coin holders, are gonna be in China, right? If you look into it, they are the number one mining country in the world. So, what do you think they're trying to do, the government-wise?
Who's the question to?
Anyone, like, obviously, what do you think that are they trying to eradicate everything, close down all the exchange, and then just have their own controlled system, just have their own, maybe their own coin? Because there's a lot of talks about them trying to bring yuan to the blockchain.
Yeah, Wei Sheng, you wanna share your thoughts?
Okay.
You are the expert in crypto in this.
Yeah.
I'm just into trading, but for the fundamental wise, I'm not very as strong as you, both of you. So for me, like one of the article, because I have read one of the article. One of the reason is because I'm not sure it's Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan. They've reduced the rating for China for the economic growth because of the environmental impact, like the power shortage. Yeah, because like too much power used on the mining, and that right now there's still a lack of the power. So the power shortage issue. So they rather close down all these companies, or the mining the mining companies. So they leave the powers to all the other industries, like the factories.
Right.
So that's one of the reason, and also the other reason mostly is because like a lot of money being lost in all these ICO scams. So like China trying to protect, because the ICO mostly launched by the American or the European, but most of the Chinese invested in the ICO and then lost tons of money during the 2017 and 2018. So they're trying to protect their own citizens.
I think it makes sense for them to try to protect them, because many ICOs are like money game, right? I heard it's not only US and Europe. I heard one of the biggest one is Penang.
Right.
And targeting Chinese citizens.
Targeting Chinese. But I think Vishay is right, because when it comes to mining, Chinese is the largest in the world. But do you guys know that Malaysia is ranked number 4?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I was exploring into mining 3 years ago, I noticed that Malaysia was number 4. So actually, there's a lot of whales in Malaysia as well.
Wow.
The hidden wealth, yeah, that not many people know that these guys were mining over the years, and they are top 4 in the world.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this particular case, let's have a little bit of a discussion in terms of like, can crypto really be banned? There's arguments on two sides, right? Obviously, a lot of people that are really into crypto, they will believe that crypto is decentralized, it cannot be controlled. I personally believe that if they want to really ban crypto, they can. And how they can do it is that obviously you still need to take out crypto to be used as a fiat, right? If they can block that channel, they can block the way that businesses cannot accept crypto, then there's no in and out. That's my personal belief, right? And I think it will still limit the utility of crypto as a currency itself. However, by the way, I'm not talking about things like XRP. I'm not talking about things like Solana and Ethereum. I'm specifically referring to faith-based crypto like Bitcoin, and also like Dogecoin, right, which is going crazy. So, what are you guys' thought? Like, Wei Sheng, how about you start out first? That can government really ban crypto if they want to?
Yeah, for me, I think if the government really want to do it, they can really do it. Just that I don't think they would eventually. What they want is the taxpayers' money. So if they regulate it properly, they will like those countries who finally have the regulation. They will have all this monies coming in. For example, like I'm not sure if let's say we compare with forex industry. So all the all most of the countries they have the forex traders, but eventually like not many countries have all this regulation. So those countries who have regulations, a lot of monies are flowing into those countries. So for me, cryptocurrency will be similar like forex industry. Eventually, there will be countries who have the regulation. They will win like in terms of bringing all the foreign fund into the countries. So what they want is a tax different money. So that's my thought.
Right. So, John, what's your thought on that? I think that's a really good point that Wei Sheng shared.
So I think there's no way you can shut out crypto. I also address that a lot of people always say that, hey, what if you can use crypto to make payments and all, right? Because that's what it's supposed to do, right? It's a cryptocurrency, so it's supposed to be a coin, and that's why after Bitcoin they created Litecoin. And when we have seen there are shops around, even Malaysia, where you go to these shops, they say, hey, we accept Bitcoin, you can pay using Bitcoin. At first, I bought into the hype. I thought it was a very good idea. But later on, I asked myself, will I pay using my Bitcoin? My answer is no. Why? Because the transaction fee is so high. The next thing is, if I buy a coffee, I probably have to wait for 10 minutes before I can say, okay, now transaction approved. Now you can drink your coffee. So I think this whole idea of cryptocurrency as the currency of the world, will it be used as a day-to-day transaction? I don't think so. But is there a usage for cryptocurrency? Yes, I have seen it. But mostly usually being used in the dark side, in the underworld. Yeah. So I think the usage of cryptocurrency as a day-to-day currency won't take place, not in the next at least 3 years, yeah, or 5 years. Yeah. But I also agree with what Wei Sheng is saying, is if Chinese ban crypto, there are a lot of countries that will welcome companies to set up crypto banks or crypto trustees in their countries. So we are talking about Malta, we are talking about Isles of Man, we are talking about all these Luxembourg.
Singapore
And
too, don't
Singapore,
forget.
right?
Yeah.
Singapore is telling CZ, the founder of Binance, okay, come and set up here, man. I give you a license.
Right.
Yeah.
Singapore is actively attracting a lot of crypto companies over there, like blockchain-based companies. That's why you see Vitalik from Ethereum is actually based in Singapore. And I think, yeah, I think a country can shut it down. But then, entrepreneurs can always move. That's the thing. That's the beauty of this, internet-based type of platform. But I think what Wei Sheng mentioned about tax is quite interesting. Let's just say that, obviously, US is also one big player when it comes to cryptocurrency. What if Joe Biden managed to tax crypto transactions? What do you think will happen to crypto? Let's say that this year Joe Biden decided that, crypto transaction, we're gonna legalize it. You can pay for your coffee with XRP, with whatever you want to use, Dogecoin, right? Shiba coin, right? And it's legalized. Then 3 months later, he said, the country is in need of your tax money right now, so we're gonna charge 10% tax money on every single transaction. What do you guys think would happen to the crypto market if this happens?
The thing is, will people pay using crypto? That is still something that I can't understand, because you have their prices, it's like fluctuating like 10% a day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really question how viable is that, unless people pay using Tether, the USDT.
There is a what in the US what they're doing is that they're using this company called BitPay. You heard about BitPay?
Sounds familiar.
So what they do is that you can pay with Bitcoin, right? I think Bitcoin and a few more currency. And then what happens is that they immediately try to change it to fiat money for you, this company. So the payer will pay in crypto for the convenience sake, and then the vendor will receive the money in fiat.
But the thing is, all these ideas since 2017, during the ICO boom, there's a lot of these ideas. I even saw like those POS system that accepts crypto.
Right.
Yeah, there's so many, right? I think Wei Sheng started at that time as well. You've probably seen quite a lot as well. Yeah. So idea like what Big Pay say is not the first, man. There's even like credit cards on crypto where you have your card tied to crypto, and then you can make payment, right? So when Swipe came up with this I think last year or a few years ago, I said, hey, this idea was in 2016. I've seen this idea. Someone tried doing it. Yeah. So I think we yeah. So I was trying to say is like, I do think a lot of ideas are good, but I still question whether the blockchain technology is really at the stage where the adoption of technology is it that level or not. It's just like last time when I first had internet, someone told me I want to create a website where people can watch movie. I thought it was a good idea, and then I tried watching a 1 minute video and it took me so long. Then I said, how is it possible that one day people can watch movie on internet, but today we cannot, because now internet is so fast. So I do question that idea. I'm not saying that idea is bad. I'm just saying that the technology right now, has it reached that level or not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also the volatility doesn't help. So if the coin is so volatile in value, it's hard for vendors to feel comfortable accepting crypto, right?
Yeah.
So at this particular moment, it does seems like crypto is more of a security, like it's just an instrument to be traded, to be invested on, right?
That's my thought. But love to hear from you, Wei Sheng.
Yeah, I mean, for me, definitely. But right now, let's look at what El Salvador, the company who accepted Bitcoin. Like people posted, okay, the first McDonald's transactions using Bitcoin, the first Starbucks transaction using Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be like adopted like to other countries if, let's say, things get very effectively, like the cost efficiency? So I'm not sure on that. But apparently, the first country that really started to use it is El Salvador. So maybe we look at how's the adoption. But for me, definitely, if let's say we look at all these businessmen, will they use Bitcoin or cryptocurrency as payment? That's the question. Unless like the business owner is like very Bitcoin guys, he really love Bitcoin, he will keep all the Bitcoin. Otherwise, for the business profitability wise, it's hard to do the projection, because the moment you accept the Bitcoins, the next minute it dropped 10%. So I don't think a lot of businessmen would like these ideas.
Right. So talking about this, like in 2017, I did a seminar and someone wanted to pay with Bitcoin, right? and guess what? We accepted it, and the Bitcoin is still with me right now. So the thing is, I do think that some people will accept Bitcoin. In fact, in states like in Florida, specifically in the US, there are already some vendors that are accepting Bitcoin, just as to show support to the crypto community and to show support to crypto as a way of doing business, right? And I think that's quite important for people to see. I again, just like what John was saying, this is the dial-up internet age right now, but I think it's gonna morph to mass consumer very very soon. But let's morph towards the idea of the topic of specifically the opportunities that arise recently. China banning obviously crypto. What are the opportunities that appear? What are the opportunities that two of you actually sniffed out? John, you want to start out on that?
So I'm one guy who just hold on to my coins. When I see news like this, I just see a dip in my portfolio, and then if I feel like buying more, then I'll buy. By this moment, I'm not buying more. So I think it will be better to hear from Wei Sheng.
Okay, so I'm also buying more because personally I believe on the market cycle, which I believe the bull cycle it's not ended yet. So I'm still buying more. So at this price, I'm just like for some of the coins like the top 100 coins, I'm just take it as like the saving. So instead of you saving in the banks, definitely for me saving in the cryptos is a better idea.
Yeah, just talking about that, right? Obviously, what specifically constitute the end of bull run? Because you're saying specifically that you believe that the bull run is still ongoing. What gives you that confidence?
Okay, so because if you look at the market cycle, like what happens in 2017, 18, the last phase of the bull market will be the blow off top. It's like the euphoric moment. So everyone is buying, everyone is asking your friends, your neighbors, everyone is buying. So that happened, I think, on April and May. So that is considered one of the big. But if you look at a lot of cryptocurrency, they still haven't moved that much compared to 2017, 18. So if you compare like the last cycle, just within 3 to 4 weeks, spike out more than 5 to 10x, just within the 3 to 4 weeks time. So I believe, and every time with whatever instrument, for example, like stock market. So we compare cryptocurrencies like the very early stage or baby stage of stock market. So every time the bull cycle will last longer than the previous one. And with margin. So last time in 2017, we do not have margin and we do not have USDT. And right now, like the stable coins like USDT, USDC, they've printed out so much supply. So all this money right now is being used as margin. So for example, if they print out 5 billion, so potentially this money, if you use it in margins, then it becomes 50 billion. So it will pump up the market to even higher level. So the May crash for me is to kill off all the over leveraged traders, because I personally I have some margins account. So every time, I would put a stop loss, but also it's interesting to experience what will happen to all these like 10x, 5x margin account.
Right.
So it's just so ngam the period, your 10x account will be liquidated until zero, and that's the bottom of the market. I'm not sure it's a call incidentally or it's the game.
Okay. So what do you think that can cause a bear run, like basically a crash?
So right now, for me, okay, this is not personal financial advice, but I will look at XRP as the benchmark, because XRP is the last time used to be the third in the whole cryptocurrency ranking, and the lawsuit is not ended yet. It's still ongoing. So personally, I will wait until XRP is really going for a big spike. Then I'll just sell off most of my cryptocurrency.
Okay.
John,
what about you?
Yeah, I'm actually curious. Why do you use XRP as a benchmark?
Okay, because we look at those like old old timer like Bitcoin, Ethereum, they all run up like at least 200% from the previous all-time high. But XRP, because for me, among all this cryptocurrency, XRP is one of the crypto that have really use case, like they're really transferring money, they have the real business running. So if XRP is not moving that much, so for me, I believe they still have the upside. And I wanted to see until one point, like everyone is shouting, okay, Bitcoin is going to 100. Everybody is using margins. And also the other things, I'm looking also at the what they call like staking or the saving account. So when everyone is providing high interest, like attracting monies coming into the exchange, so that is the other bad sign. So I'm just looking on all these little details.
But there's one thing. But there's one thing about crypto which I always can't understand since 2017 until now. You see, like if I buy Top Glove shares, right? I'll look at the Top Glove business, and if the business does well, there's PE ratios. There's a lot of ways I can calculate the valuation of the share price. Okay, but in crypto, on the other hand, we are seeing projects where they have collapsed, but then their coins are still floating in the exchange. So don't you agree that the price of the coin, it is related to the story of the project, but then the coin can still continue to float even after the project collapse?
So that is also another very interesting story. I mean, I don't know the logic, but somehow the game is interesting. We are making money, so I just okay. How about Desmond?
I think it's the fact that crypto's nature is very different than stocks or shares. The fact that every stocks or shares are held under an exchange and under like a proper, like KRSE or the basically there is a big regulator, like something that is actually monitoring it. But crypto is on blockchain, it's public ledger, so it's very, very different. But I think the point here is the fact that will crypto gone down to zero, especially specifically, let's refer back to those faith-based currencies or tokens. Like let's talk about Dogecoin, right? I think a few episodes ago while we were doing the episode, Mark Cuban went and tweeted something along the line where Dogecoin is actually probably the best. I think, was it Mark Cuban? I think Mark Cuban did that, saying that Dogecoin is the most, what was it called? What was, I can't remember what's the word he used, what's the adjective he used to describe it, but essentially something positive about Dogecoin. Like, will Dogecoin gone down to zero?
I've only bought it once.
Oh, you bought it?
I bought it once. When Elon Musk tweeted about it, I went to the toilet. I came out of the toilet. The price dropped by 30% just after I pee. Then I faster sell. I was so worried. Yeah.
Did you buy a lot? Did you buy a lot?
No, not much. Yeah. Just I think it was $1,000 lah. Just wanted wanted to make some quick gains. Yeah. Then after that, I went toilet, came up. Huh? How do I lose like $300 in just a pee? Yeah. So to me, when I look at Dogecoin and all, right, I never really understood like what is the hype behind it, except for celebrity entrepreneurs promoting it. Yeah, so I can't really understand that. So I love to hear from Vishen. We have someone on the comment who is saying, yeah, go XRP. So we have some Ripple fans here, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so personally, I bought Dogecoin once or so. I bought it at 10 cents and it went up, I think, like 20%. Then I sold it off because personally, I don't believe into memes coins, even though it went up so much. But I have my personal investment philosophy where I don't invest into memes coins. So, and right now you can see, I don't think Elon Musk has like tweeted it for the past 1 or 2 months regarding Dogecoin. So personally, I don't encourage people to invest into Dogecoin because most likely after the bull run ends and it will become worthless. And like what happened in 2018, a lot of crypto become worthless. because I personally am holding a few, and right now it's not traded. It's zero liquidity where I cannot sell it off.
I want to ask you about another coin. I think will be interesting, huh? I'm sure you heard of XE Infinity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a token purely for the games, right? So does a lot of people say, oh, this token is gonna be very big. It's gonna be, they're gonna come with NFTs and all that kind of stuff, right? So in this particular case, right, do you think this is a coin that can go down to zero?
I don't think it will go. I mean, personally, I don't think it will go down to zero because right now a lot of gamers are playing this game. Like for example, like the Filipinos, they're relying on this game to make their incomes like even more than their full-time incomes. So people resign just for this game. But eventually, like how big it can grow, I still have doubt on this.
But every don't just agree that every game has a expiry. I don't know about which one we are the same age, right? So John,
Yeah.
I think you're a few years older. But my time when we were kids, right, we play this thing called Neopets. I don't know if you all remember Neopets. It's like a really old school web browser based games. Which reminds me when I saw Axie Infinity, I just felt like it's a much more modern version of Neopets, right? But I think that games can go down to zero, don't you think so? Games will be one day expired, it will like not be renewed, they'll run out of creativity, games will become the next technology, right? And then the game developers cannot adapt fast enough. So what will happen to the token then? Wouldn't you say that it might go down to zero because of that? Or maybe another competitor comes out with something very similar but much more modernized with better storytelling.
I think at the end of the day, it's the community of gamers, right, that really decides whether this game will still be there.
Yeah, let's say like what's the online game that is the shit right now? Let's say Call of Duty. Obviously I don't know anything. Let's say Call of Duty decided to create like their own coin, right? And then everyone started moving towards the Call of Duty games, and then everyone left Axie Infinity because obviously Call of Duty is by like a much bigger corporation, much bigger company, right? Much more financial backing, much more credibility. What will happen to those like independent games that has coins? What happened to those coins?
I totally have no idea because I no longer play games.
I'm not playing any games soon.
Yeah, for me, I think that's the reason why I think certain coins are a little bit volatile because of that. I think it's not a long term, but there are some coins that I really believe that it can go very long. Like XRP is one of those that can go very long. Ethereum can go very long. And obviously you also need to look into the fact whether the coin has any other usage or not, right? So the thing that I've always been very against is actually Bitcoin. I'm actually not a believer in Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin is what make this industry or this particular crypto world amazing. It introduced people to the crypto world, but I'm not a big believer in Bitcoin. I just felt like it's a very faith-based thing. Right? The moment people lose faith to it, and then you see the price just go down. And I felt like the price is extremely overpriced as well. Obviously, because there's a limit, you can argue the fact that they are very similar to gold, right? What are you guys' thought about Bitcoin? Like, is it gonna be such a dominant player for the next 10 years? Because remember, Bitcoin is what 10x the price of Ethereum right now, right? So do you think they're overvalued or do you think they're undervalued?
The thing is, to me, right, every currency is faith-based. And that is the reason why the currency that we hold on today, the US dollar or the ringgit, is called fiat currency. And fiat basically means faith. Currency that is backed by the faith of you trusting the government or you trusting the central bank that if I hold a 50 ringgit, the central bank says that this is worth 50 ringgit, then we trust that this is worth 50 ringgit. So from day one, right, I always believe that every currency is backed by faith. The only question is, do you trust the person who is issuing this currency or not? So one of the reasons why some countries, they actually collapse, the currency collapse, is people no longer trust the central government. So when people no longer trust the central government, everyone is trying to let go of this currency. This is where we see hyperinflation, and then we see that the currency system actually collapse. So I think when it comes to Bitcoin, or whether it's Ethereum or whether it's Ripple, my opinion is everything is also based on faith as well. Because why do people think that Bitcoin is worth today like how much? $40,000, right? Is because the community trusts the Bitcoin blockchain more than the central government's uh, um, who is printing trillions of dollars. Yeah. Whereas on the Bitcoin blockchain, they trust that, hey, this is digital gold. Okay. And they trust that there's only this limited number of Bitcoins that will be minted, right? Or yeah, what do they call it? Yeah, mined.
Right.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, right, everything is all based on faith. The only question
To that point, John,
Yeah.
I think I want to raise something. I just read an article, I think a week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Economists were doing an analysis on every country's currency, like major countries' currency. There is one country, the currency, the fiat money actually went up in value. Can you guess which country?
Singapore?
Wei Sheng, what about you? Which country?
Mm.
Definitely not US dollars, yeah. They printed like 40% of the money last year, so it couldn't be US dollars. But what country do you think their value actually went up?
I think Singapore as well.
Yeah, it is Singapore. It is
Singapore.
Singapore, which is insane. Like, so let me compare this, right? Will you hold Sing dollar over crypto or crypto over Sing dollar? If you're a Singaporean.
I will still hold cryptocurrency.
John,
Yeah,
likewise?
For me, right, I always believe in diversification. So I really admire people who can go all in into one asset class. So I will hold a bit of Sing dollar, which I do. I do hold a bit of crypto. Recently, so the one that I've been accumulating is Alibaba stock.
Right.
Yeah, because same thing. To me, stock is also by faith. But I have
Do you
faith.
know something about Jack Ma that we
Yeah.
don't? Do you know where Jack Ma is?
I
Are you
wish
working with
I
the
know.
China government? Are you working with the China government and you know where Jack Ma has been? Well, there's rumors that he has been sent for some relearning and re-education camp or something of that sort. Do you know that?
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not surprised, man.
He's a
Yeah.
bit too American to be a Chinese.
Yeah, I'm not surprised lah. Yeah, so to
But
me,
go on,
everything.
sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think everything is backed by faith. The only question is, do you trust the system or the creator of that system?
But John, talking about this is very interesting because you are a gold and silver guy, right?
Yeah.
So Wei Sheng, you might not know this about John. John's house and his office is loaded with gold bars and silver bars, right? his company is called Gold Vault. No, I'm just kidding. But obviously, gold itself is also very faith-based. Would you argue so? Except maybe silver has more utility, but gold is also used in a lot of things. But we see gold has not been moving a lot in prices recently, right? So, like, what do you see in terms of similarities and differences between gold and, let's say, crypto?
It's the
Silver
same.
and crypto.
In my opinion, it's totally the same, right? Because you look at gold, what is the usage of gold? There's no usage of gold at all. The only reason why people believe in gold is because since our early days, our great grandfather, they used to have a time when they believed that gold is money. Okay. So when I started my company selling gold and silver, I didn't call my company goldmalaysia.com. I called my company silvermalaysia.com because although I was selling gold, but I felt that, hey, this metal got no usage. It's just that people believe that it's worth something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I personally, I was buying more silver instead of gold because at least silver has industrial value, right? The solar panels need silver. Our phones also need silver. So that's why
last few years before the crypto went crazy, right? If you look at the price charts, gold has actually increased a lot more compared to silver, right? Arguably, silver has more utility, right? You know, silver can make a lot of different things that you use on a daily basis compared to gold. Gold, even if you use, it's very little, and it's only on things like jewelries and, you know, decoratives. But if you look at the last price spike, gold actually increased a lot more than silver. I know we're not really talking about crypto right now, but I think we're gonna link this back to crypto a little bit later on, which reminds me a lot in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum, gold and silver. I felt like Bitcoin very similar to like gold, right? And then I felt like Ethereum had more usage, more utility. You can use NFTs, smart contracts, so on and so forth, housing market, right? And then they are very much like silver. But if you look at the price disparity, the price difference between gold and silver, we're talking about the bullion, we're talking about the gold bar, silver bar, also very big difference. Do you see the similarities in both, or is it just me?
Exactly. That's what I felt as well. So when I was in my gold and silver days, one of the things we used to call this is called the gold-silver ratio, which means if you have a piece of gold, how many pieces of silver can you buy? So at the point of time, it was ranging from 60 to 90. If it's 90, means silver price is undervalued. If it's 60, it's actually pretty normal. And I think when you said that, hey, gold price was shooting up like crazy and silver price didn't move, it was exactly what happened. Not only this time around, not only this year, I think it was last year, right, when this happened. But in 2010, it's the same thing. From 2008 to 2010, gold price was shooting up. And then in 2011, within 6 months, silver price shot up from $15 to $50. And then after that, it came back down. So if you notice what happened last year, it was pretty much the same. Gold price was moving up, silver price didn't move. And then the moment gold price stopped moving, suddenly silver price will start to play catch up. So it moved from $12, it moved to around $28. And right now it came back to around $24.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to link it back to this as well. Besides talking about the climb and obviously we can talk all day about the growth and the price difference, right? But link it back to government, right? Because our topic is China versus crypto, right? Just a couple of years ago, I'm sure you know about this. The Chinese government has been accumulating gold like crazy. They've been buying a lot of gold, right? What move do you think they're gonna play? Wei Sheng, any guess or any opinions on that?
Okay, so I've been reading like articles like Russia, China, they've been accumulating gold, they've been buying gold. Just one of the reasons is because they've been like they know eventually the fiat currency, for example, like US dollar will get into trouble. So gold price will definitely shoot up. So that's my opinion because I believe in gold, but I'm not buying gold. So I'm not buying gold and silver because I mean gold I'm investing in like gold mining companies. But silver, I have no ideas like where to buy. So perhaps I need to ask John like where to buy silver, because I believe this eventually gold, silver, and Bitcoin like cryptocurrency, the price will appreciate compared to the fiat currency of US dollar when the next crisis comes.
Yeah, there's silver mining companies as well. But of course, the way to mine silver is very different from gold. Silver is always a byproduct of a miner's activity. It's never a main product when they go and mine. Yeah. Well, this reminds me of like my 10 years ago life, man. Suddenly we talk about gold and silver.
Well, this is something that a lot of people don't know, because a lot of people, when they want to buy gold, they buy gold ETFs or they buy gold like securities, right? They don't really think about owning actual gold bars and gold coins, right? And which is why I think this is an interesting topic, because I do think that it's going to be linked to gold. Now, hypothetically, let's say Xi Jinping start doing this. Okay, guys, you know what? We're going to create our own crypto China yuan, and we're going to pack it with our gold. What do you think will happen to the global economy? And then Russia decided to do the same too. Russia is a really silent country, by the way. But Vladimir Putin is one of the smartest leader of a country that I've ever seen. And he's a very strong man. I do believe he's a fantastic leader. Of course, you know, you can talk about his other stories and things like that. But what if Russia and China suddenly today came out, you know what? We're coming up with our own crypto token packed with gold. What will happen to the global economy?
I think if that happens, it only means that the world has no faith towards the US dollar. Because if we look into history, in the past, every country had to have gold to print money. And then I think it was 1944, during the Bretton Woods Agreement, where all the countries say, okay, we no longer hold gold. We all let US hold the gold. And then US will print more money and we will hold US dollar instead. Okay, and then everyone trusted US, so that was the rule, right? Everyone say, okay, never mind, US, you hold the most gold, we trust you. And then it was around 1971 when President Nixon said, okay, guys, I know I promised you guys that I will hold gold to print money, but I will temporarily not hold gold to print money. I will print as much as I want, but this is a temporary measure. But this temporary measure has lasted from 1971 until today. Right now it's 2021 now, it's really 50 years. So I do think that if one day everyone starts going back to accumulating gold and they say, hey, let's all get back our gold, which it has been really been happening. If you go to this website called World Gold Council, WGC, you can actually read all these reports over there. So I think if that day really comes, right, it only means that most of the governments around the world no longer trust the US dollar. Yeah,
And what
maybe
will
that
happen? And what will happen?
and I think that means the end of US dollar.
Do you think the economy will collapse, or how would it? What do you think, like in terms of the repercussion that will happen to like a normal person, the average Joe?
I think the first thing that will happen is a hyperinflation in US. Yeah, and then of course we are gonna see like Argentina hyperinflation happening in US. Yeah.
Okay, Wei Sheng?
Okay, so my personal opinion also, that I don't think US. I mean, I think that US dollar will go into trouble like this round because they have printed up so much money, and eventually, like right now, also the inflation is happening, hyperinflation. So if you look at the consumer price index, but the way the US government look at the CPI is like, okay, everything is still normal, just slightly higher. But for me, people, I mean, the American can definitely feel it because I mean, I follow some like Instagrammer that have been posting like the price rising crazily, also the YouTube videos. And if let's say the US dollar lost the credibility, so most likely like the Argentina or Venezuela, so the normal people that holding fiat and still believing in fiat without investing in any other asset, eventually they are those people like they will lose a lot of money. I mean, the amounts money they have is still remain the same, but the purchasing power drop like crazy. So there's a reason like we have to diversify our monies into different asset class to just secure to be secure lah, when the next financial crisis comes.
What are some asset class that an average Joe should be looking into, besides obviously the typical stock market, real estate?
Okay, so if let's say my opinion is cryptocurrency definitely is one of the things that everyone should have, regardless of what's the amount, but you should invest diversify into cryptocurrency because if you look across all different instruments, for example, like the commonly invested stocks market, property, all these bonds, the normal people normally invest into stocks and property. But right now, all the prices like skyrocketed the 10 years bull market. So right now, the undervalued should be gold, silver, and cryptocurrency. So that's the three things that I believe to.
You must be quite a big fan of Robert Kiyosaki, huh?
But
Because that's like the three things he holds, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe in this because I've been reading books like talking about the cycle, the economic cycles. So definitely, there's not much thing we can invest in. The big boys they are existing, they are selling their stocks in U.S. market. So what else we can invest for those like undervalued or the small market? So considering cryptocurrency is still new, the 2 trillion USD market for them is nothing. So they can definitely push up to higher. What
Okay.
do you think, John?
For me, I'm very traditional. I only have stocks, have crypto, I have one property. That's all. Yeah. But I know, Desmond, you have a lot of unique investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a lot of my investment is actually in watches, which is I know a lot of people will be like, what watches? You invest in Apple Watch? That's a topic for another day. But the thing is that you need to look into store of value. I really believe in that. If you think about money itself, right? Money's purpose is store of value, right? Money itself, you think of it, the only purpose it does is a store of value. And you need to invest in things that also constitute that. But watches is still very logic. I mean, think about it. When people say you buy Rolex, you're not going to lose money. You heard of that saying before, right? So that's been around since our dad's days, right? But recently, there have been an uproar in this new investment called Bear Bricks. Wei Sheng, do you know anything about Bear Bricks?
No, I have no idea. Why
But
is
you
that?
know that people are spending thousands of dollars on like freaking plastic toys.
Yeah.
You know about that? Freaking insane, man. So the thing is, right? Why do you think all these things are watches, shoes, like collectibles, NFTs? All this is going up in value. I do believe that this is because people don't want to hold fiat really, and they are growing to a level or a consciousness. They felt like, okay, oh damn, I'm holding way too much cash, I'm holding way too much US dollars, I'm holding way too much ringgit, I gotta like put that into like different things and store value. And that's exactly what I do too. The only currency that I hold the most again is Sing dollar. It's not because of the fact that I don't trust Malaysia government or I have no faith in the US government, but the data shows it. Right? If you look at KLSE, right? If you go and Google for KLSE Malaysia, it's red color. Still is, which is very, very sad. So, and do you know that there are some older people that will be holding to like 6, 7 figures of cash in Malaysia ringgit, and they don't even realize that it's a depreciating asset, except that this one cannot be written off as a business expense, which is horrible, 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 right? So, in this particular thing, I think let's leave it at that, and then let's share one piece of advice before we we turn this off. John, you want to start out?
Okay,
Yeah, I
before, can I ask the questions like what is your opinion investment and John?
Sure, go ahead.
Right now, Binance and Huobi, they wanted to offboard the China clients, like how the normal people, like how most of the countries like treated US clients, but all these investment firm accept US citizens.
Right.
So what do you think? Like, can that stop the Chinese from investing again in cryptocurrency?
Yeah. So John, you want to start?
I actually don't really know. Yeah, I didn't even know that Binance and Hopi is trying to. What are they trying to do again?
They will close the registration for the China citizen. So China citizen can no longer register account with OP and Binance.
Okay, I think this is gonna hurt their business badly, but knowing the Chinese by right cannot, by left they will find a way one.
I think they'll do I think they'll use a proxy. They'll have a way to proxy it.
Yeah, I think they are very creative people. So by right cannot, they will find something to do by left just to make sure they have a pie of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have to understand the China mainland wealthy people's mindset right now. A lot of them, right, because having lived in the US and having go to the US 2-3 months a year prior to the pandemic and being very close to Chinatowns, you'll see a lot of wealthy China people younger than us that drives an expensive Lamborghini, right? And that's the reason why. That's because their parents are making so much money and they cannot take it out of the country. So they needed a way to take the money out efficiently. So they all their kids, they are living in the US. They're living in other countries. Like we see that in Singapore too. We see that in Australia. We see that in the US too. But their parents are just their parents are basically just minting the China economy and then taking it out of the country because they themselves don't see a long-term future in China. Right? I've got a friend, I'm not gonna name this person, but this person, he's in the watch world, like watch collecting world, and he explained to me why watch collections recently has spiked up in value so much. And he told me it's because the China people are using watch as a financial instrument to take money out of the country. Because watch is less volatile compared to currency, any form of currency in the world. Percentage-wise, the movement is 1-2%. You get what I'm saying? Currency sometimes can move beyond 1-2%, right? So watch is going up, artwork is going up. I've seen some horrible looking artwork. They are on like huge auction sites and then they are like super expensive. They are like, I've seen like spoons and like bowls. Like apparently they use words like Renaissance, like man, I don't even know what they're talking about. Some Italian spoons selling for like 6 figures. Absolutely insane. The thing is, I think when Binance and Huobi cut out the Chinese people, yes, the business will get hurt temporarily, but I think Chinese people still want to actively move money out of the country because what China is actually portraying or actually demonstrating is that they are like, you know what, we are not like America. You don't have freedom here. You do exactly what I tell you to do. Look at what I did to Jack Ma, right? Look at what I did to a lot of these Chinese celebrities that suddenly disappear. Do you guys see like videos of Chinese celebrities that appear on videos and then they got censored? They got blurred out as well as they don't exist. They delete their social media and things like that. So the government is showing a lot of power. But free-thinking Chinese people, they believe that, you know what, this is actually not good for the future of the country, right? So they themselves, they want to diversify. But instead of diversifying their assets, they also want to diversify their livelihood. They want to have like a way to escape the country. That's the reason why there's so many wealthy young Chinese people in America, in Australia, but their parents are in China because they're making money and then every single dollar is going to the US. And they are living in like penthouses in New York City. They're living in like amazing mansions in California. So in short, if even though the China government can find a way to cut out all the Chinese people from participating in cryptocurrency, they're gonna find another financial instrument, right? They already been doing it with watches, artwork, jewelries, and I'm very sure they will be able to do it somehow, some way or the other. That's it. I don't know if that discussion is actually making sense.
Yeah. Because after Huobi announced this news, and then the Bitcoin price dipped to 40,000 and immediately rebounded back to 43,000. So I'm not sure if this is good news. Like all the China's banned cryptocurrency news is that has been like disturbing the market, like making people feel annoyed. So right now, might as well, like, the two biggest exchanges just cut off the China citizen. So in future, whatever news that is not affecting, is not really giving that big impact to the cryptocurrencies world.
I think no matter what it is, I think this could be a good thing actually in a lot of ways, right? Maybe it might make the market less volatile. Who knows, right?
Okay.
So any last words that Wei Sheng, you want to share to the audience?
Okay, so I mean, I've been asking people to investing into asset because, like, for me, I'm feeling like the next financial crisis is coming very soon. So that's the reason, like, it's good. We must prepare for it. So investing into different assets, diversify your money from from stock market, especially because I know most of the Malaysians, they invested in Malaysia stock market, and we are the worst performing stock market across the Asia Pacific countries. So take your money out. I mean, not everything, but diversify into cryptocurrency.
John?
So since early this year, right after Chinese New Year, I've got all my Malaysian stock market liquidated already. I'm totally out of Malaysia stocks. And I was holding cash. Yes, I have some cryptos. But recently only I started looking back into Chinese stocks, the tech stocks, because I thought they were very badly hit. Yeah. But then they are still growing. Their cash position is still very strong. So at the end of the day, I think what for me as an investor, I can't give any advice, but I'll just share one of my thoughts is always spot opportunities in crisis, because like what Rachel is saying, that if a crisis is coming, you will get yourself prepared first. Hold some digital currencies which the government can't control. You probably want to look into some gold and silver as well. They do the best usually in recessions. And we all and this recession that we are talking about, it has to be a global recession. It doesn't mean that recession in Malaysia alone and everywhere is doing well and you expect gold and silver to go up or crypto to go up. So I think at the end of the day, you just gotta really diversify your risk.
Right. So,
Yeah.
so
How about you?
I want to ask you though before I put on my, where do I buy gold now? Where is the because a lot of people, when they think about buying gold, right, they buy from those jewelry shops. A lot of people don't know, right? And which they mark up quite high, right, percentage wise.
Yeah.
So where is the best place to buy gold?
My advice is never buy from jewelry shops, because every time you go to a jewelry shop, you ask them what price you follow, they will say market rate. But then, do you know that in Malaysia there's two rates? You have an international spot price, and then you have a Malaysia market rate that was determined by the Federation of Goldsmith and Jewelleries Association of Malaysia. It's called FGJAM. So they created their own price. So these are your Pokong, your Tomes, your Wachan, they all belong to an association and they created their own price. So when you go to a jewelry shop, they say we follow market rate. This is the price that the association have set.
Yes.
So that's the reason why when you go to a jewelry shop, it's actually more expensive. My personal thought is if I were to buy physical gold, I will go to UOB Bank. Yeah, my preferred choice is still UOB Bank. If not, I will go to online gold and silver platforms. I used to own one. Now I no longer own. But my industry friends who are still in it will be a company like buysilvermalaysia.com or silverbullion.com.my. Yeah, so these are the companies that very low overheads. They follow the international spot price when they sell their gold and silver.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, back to me in terms of last advice when it comes to this. For me, it's just exactly what I said, man. If you want to buy into crypto, I know everyone will tell you buy crypto, buy crypto, buy crypto. Right, it's very common sense. But what kind of crypto to buy, right? For me, I'm looking into crypto that can be staked and crypto that have utility in terms of NFTs. I'm looking into the short term, obviously not long term. I'm not like those people that to the moon, whole 10 years, 15 years, right? I'm a big believer on a few coins. Again, I'm not asking you to buy. I'm not advising you to buy. I'm a very dumb person when it comes to this. Probably I'm already drunk and I'm just spewing a lot of nonsense. But I'm a big believer in XRP, like Wei Sheng. I am holding a ton of XRP. I've been buying XRP every quarter, in fact. And I do believe that it's very underpriced because I know some big banks are using it, like not just in Malaysia. We're talking about international banks are using it. So I don't see why companies so important is not valued much higher. I'm also a big believer in Ethereum. I've always been a big believer in Ethereum. When I started in crypto in 2016, I bought Ether first before I bought Bitcoin. That's how much I believe in it, right? And I'm also into some smaller ones. I also believe in Solana due to the fact that it NFTs as well. So the point is, if you look at how I process and analyze, I look into what people will need in order to get the outcome that they want. Right now, NFT is very big. People are wanting to buy NFTs, and to buy NFTs, you need one of these, right? You can't buy NFTs with Bitcoin unless you exchange first, right? So that's why I buy those coins. But again, I'm buying them because I have no faith in the local currency. I remember grocery store. Every time I go to grocery store to buy something, it's about 100 ringgit. Now I felt like it's double. I don't know if you guys feel the same. I felt like the price has doubled, and then the bill. Last time, like dinner, very seldom, like just 2-3 people dinner. Very seldom you hit 100 ringgit. Now it's very easy to hit 100 ringgit. I'm not sure if you guys experience the same as well. So inflation is definitely here, whether you feel it or not. You gotta wake up. You gotta diversify, like Wei Sheng is saying. Don't just look into like stock market. I also am not a big believer in stock market because if you know anything about capital market, they can be manipulated in a lot of ways. So my advice is diversify, invest money you can lose, and don't have so much trust in your local government. That's my best advice for you, right? All right, so guys, if you guys enjoy this, definitely help to share this podcast. Again, there's no promotion for this podcast. We're not selling anything. We have no program to sell you. We have no gold and bar and silver to sell you. We just want to help out the audience here with free content. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. All right, so that's it for today. I'll see you guys next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.